We want to grow and scale firms profitably. But there are a lot of different kinds of profit. Profit isn't always about dollars. Profit can also be about time. It can be about your reputation. Profit is what you want to get out of your law firm.
Yep.
And it may be the ability to pick your children up at school every day at 3. It may be the ability to not work past 2 p.m. That's time profit. It may be having a statewide reputation. I've got a firm I work with in Colorado, and they want to be incredibly well known in their field in the state. That's major profit for them. And they're willing to give up a little bit of their dollar profit to get that reputational profit for the firm. So, what is it that you really want from your firm? And let's get you that. Let's get you the profit that you truly want.
Welcome to World of Marketing Podcast, a Foster Web Marketing production. Here's your host, Tom Foster.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the World of Marketing, where I, Tom Foster, talk with legal leaders about marketing mindset and the growth of law firm businesses. This episode is brought to you by my own company, Foster Web Marketing. Since the internet was born, Foster Web Marketing has been the premier provider of customized websites, marketing, video, and strategic solutions for elite law firms. Our unparalleled web technology and marketing systems set the gold standard in the industry, catering exclusively to a discerning clientele who demand the best. Partner with Foster Web Marketing to experience uncompromising quality, cutting-edge technology, and exceptional service. Visit fosterwebmarketing.com to discover how we can help you achieve your most ambitious goals and solidify your position at the forefront of your field. Today is my great honor to have Brooke Lively as my guest. And look, we only have the best guests that are fantastic, premier people. And Brooke is the founder and president of Cathcap, a group of CFOs and strategists who help firms grow and scale faster and more profitably. Brooke has been named Top 25 Women to Watch, Diversity Journal Women Worth Watching, and Fort Worth CFOs of the Year. She is a highly regarded international speaker and the author of several books. We're going to talk about one of her new book, including an international bestseller. In addition, she's also an EOS implementer, which I love because we do EOS too, helping her clients get more of what they want from their business. So Brooke, thank you so much for being on the World of Marketing podcast. And it is great to finally meet you because my brother's been talking about you for a long time. Brooke Lively, this and that and the other thing. And so it's great to meet you.
Thanks for having me, Tom. I'm excited to be here.
Yes. So tell me, how did you come to be? Tell me the history of how you created your company.
Oh, yeah, totally accidental.
Aren't they all? Yes.
Absolutely. I think every great company kind of is. I was working at a hedge fund. My father, who's an attorney, had shed his law partners yet again. He did it every 7 to 10 years like clockwork. And he lost the woman who was running his practice, who'd been with him for 25 years, and he needed help. He asked me to come help him. Hedge fund said, fine, I could work from wherever. Eventually, I quit the hedge fund, just ran his firm, and we scaled that up to 7 figures in under 18 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and I hired someone to help with sales and marketing at one point, and he only worked with attorneys, and his clients started coming to me and saying, can you do for us what you do for your family's firm? And that was when I started to realize that lawyers didn't run their firms by the numbers. And that was creating a lot of stress and anxiety and, frankly, lost profit. So I started Cathcap. And we really began as a fractional CFO company.
How long ago was that?
12, 13 years ago.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
So fractional CFO. So explain to me, pretend like I don't know what this is. What does a fractional CFO do for a law firm?
So we do two things. We go in and we look at your company from the top down and the bottom up. So top down is the strategy. You're here and you want to get there. How are we going to do that? What is that going to look like? What needs to happen? Whether it's financing the growth or just what the company is going to look like as we grow. Bottom up is all of our clients have an analyst. We believe in making data-driven decisions. So the analyst is going into all of our client systems, pulling out information, analyzing it, giving it to the CFO. CFO is going to the owner and saying, okay, here's the problem. Here's what the data says. Here are 3 solutions. Based on my experience and based on Cathcap's experience having worked with hundreds of law firms, we think option B is best. What do you want to do? So it makes those conversations, those decisions happen faster,
Mm-hmm.
and they're easier. And you only make that decision once. Because, Tom, how many times have you made a decision and then gone home and you're eating dinner and you're like, ooh, is that the right thing to do? Wake
Yeah,
up in the
more.
middle of the night, and
Yes,
then, the next day you're with a client and you're making the decision yet again. When
yes.
you've got data, you don't do that. You make
Well,
it
and
once and move
plus
on.
you've got data that is supported through experience and wisdom, and you've worked with all these other firms and you've seen it before, and they're not like scrambling around in the dark, which most law firms are, right?
Right.
And
We're
so
not
do you?
reinventing the wheel.
Right, exactly. And lawyers, as we know, they go to law school and they become lawyers, and they're most of them are great lawyers, but they're not necessarily great businessmen or business people, business women. They're not necessarily good at running a law firm as a business, and that's what they've got to do. They could be excellent litigators, great at due diligence and discovery and all that, but terrible at this part of it. And this is the key to success, is being able to run the business profitably.
Yeah, it is. And it's being able to make those decisions. And, law school teaches you never to ask a question if you don't know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Business is all about making decisions when you don't know exactly what that outcome is going to be. So
Yeah,
paralysis by
it's scary.
analysis
Right,
is
right. You're
real.
right. That's why
So,
so many lawyers have a hard time. And I've been doing this for 25 years, working with lawyers, helping them with their marketing, and I've seen so many of them. They come and they've just they don't know what to do, and they need help. And
and how
so,
many times have you heard, well, let's look at that a little more. Can we
right,
get a little more information? And you're
yeah,
like, we will never 100% know the outcome.
right, right.
So
Yeah, they want guaranteed outcomes. Yes,
they
exactly.
want a guaranteed
Yes,
outcome. So
right,
having
right,
somebody like you or somebody like me or a member of my team who has seen it before makes it so much easier for them to make that decision, to trust, to move forward, and to keep going, because
right.
that's how you're successful.
Now, do you work with any kind of in niche in the legal field, or is it anybody, any kind of?
Yeah, we will work with anybody. We do have expertise in a few different fields. We are extraordinary in personal injury.
Mhm.
Um, we have, interestingly enough, developed quite a niche in immigration. Don't ask me why,
Wow.
but we're well known for immigration. Um, that we have developed tools for all 3 kinds of practices: for contingency, flat fee and for hourly practices. So
Okay.
we have great tools for each of those because they all run slightly differently.
Yeah, you're right. The PI lawyers are much different than estate planners and transactional.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, exactly. And so, how do you give me an example of how you would help a personal injury lawyer? Like I come to you and I'm like, Brooke, I've been doing this for 20 years, and I'm afraid, and I haven't done it the right way. I want to be more profitable. I want to, you know, leave a legacy. I want to be able to sell my firm. What would you tell me?
I think the first thing we need to do is understand your profitability. So we believe in running a law firm on the rule of thirds. 1/3 of revenue goes to the people doing the work, 1/3 goes to overhead, and 1/3 goes to profit. Now, for PI, we can actually mush those around a little and we
Mm-hmm.
can get a higher profit margin. Um, if you are growing any type of firm, you're going to reinvest some of those profits back into the firm to buy growth. With a PI firm, we're going to look at that. We're going to start making decisions. But to really make good decisions, we need to understand your cases. We need to understand how long they last, how much pressure they put on your team, what the different stages are that a case goes through or a matter goes through, how long it should stay in each of those stages. Because unlike in an hourly firm, we don't want your people to overwork a case. We want your case to move through the system. Faster a case moves, the more it's worth. So that's something that we're looking at. What's the average value of a case? And most importantly, how does a case pay out? There are some cases that pay out 2 and 3 times during their lifetime. We need to
Mm-hmm.
know that. So once we've gathered all that information, we can tell you exactly how much a case is worth and when it will pay out the day you sign it up. So we can start to plot your revenues. So we can take a personal injury firm and tell you exactly what it's going to make with a really high degree of reliability for up to the next 2 years, depending upon their case length. And that's what we need to do. And then we start looking at it and going, these cases aren't worth working. Don't take them anymore.
Right.
Your profit
Right.
margin is going to go up. At which point they're calling you, Tom, and saying, cut
Right.
off the marketing for this and put the money over in that.
And that's great that you know that, and that you can help them with that, because you can save them a lot of time and pain. And you know that by working with all these other hundreds of PI firms, that you've already been through this with them. So you can already identify a lot of those,
Yeah.
bad eggs, if you will.
We're working with a new firm in Atlanta, and as we were onboarding them, we were doing an evaluation of all their attorneys and how much each attorney should be billing. And we told them what each of their attorneys should be billing. And apparently the owner of the firm almost fell out of his chair because it was significantly higher. I think he had one of his like 8 or 10 attorneys that was hitting what we thought was reasonable for an
Wow.
attorney to be billing. We're like, yeah,
So
your people are
you
not
did throwing
productive.
money away, throwing money away.
Yeah, he had twice the staff he needed.
That's great. So you just saved the guy, and he's kicking himself because he should have called you earlier.
Well, so now it's a matter of, okay, do we have the cases? How do we work them better? How do we put that accountability into the firm?
Right. Right.
Where's the holdup? Where's that bottleneck? Where's the problem? Is it
That's
in the person or is it in the process?
And that's so good that that, like, to ask those questions that they don't. And frankly, I don't either. Like as CEO of my own company, like I love that, what those things that you just said, because, we need help. We don't know all that stuff that you do based on the experience that you have. You come with so much wisdom. And that's what people get when they work with you, right? Is the wisdom. And a lot of lawyers make the mistake of hiring somebody, to run the books or to do the accounting, and that's my CFO. And, they might know how to run QuickBooks, but they don't know how to run the business, like what you're talking about, like how to find missing money, how to find that profitability, how to re-engineer your processes so you're more profitable, to set yourself up so that one day that you ultimately can sell the firm to somebody else or walk away or not work so hard, right?
Absolutely. And I think people are consistently surprised at what we talk about, because we talk about things they're like, that's not CFO.
Right.
Your CFO talks about everything that touches the money. Now, as of yet, no one has ever been able to show me anything in their law firm or any business that doesn't affect the money. So we're going to go there. And a true CFO, which goes back to what you say, when you get those people that are truly in the C-suite level, they become very interdisciplinary. So a true CFO doesn't just talk about the money. They also have some HR knowledge. They also have operational knowledge. They also have this. Everyone in your C-suite should be able to play in all the other sandboxes a little bit, because you've got to understand how it all works together. And everyone in your C-suite needs to be playing together. And so if you have a CFO who all they can do is run QuickBooks, that they're not doing you any good. They're not giving you that strategic advice. They're not giving you what you really need to grow. They're just telling you what happened.
Right. So that is profound, what you just said. And that's what these guys that hire these people, just like, for $60K, because that's, that's a lot of money to them. And it is a lot of money, but they're not getting the value.
That's not a
right?
CFO salary.
Right,
Let me
right,
tell
right.
you.
But
I got 5 of them.
right,
That is not what they're getting paid.
right. But a lot of these guys, they don't, they need to understand how important this investment is. Right?
Yeah, it is.
It's critical. And the sooner they get on board with it, the better off they're going to be.
Absolutely.
Now, you just, you wrote a new book. Can you show that book to us?
Did. It's called Exit on Top. I guess I should show one that doesn't have that line running through the middle of it.
Nice. Hey, would you send me a copy of that? Would you sign it and
Gosh.
send it to me?
Yes, of course.
That'd be great.
I'd love to.
I'd love to get that and read that. And now this is about, tell us what book is about.
Well, let me tell you, it's about selling your law firm. And I want to tell you why I wrote it, because people are like, you're a CFO, why are you writing a book about selling a business? You don't want your clients to all sell their businesses, do you? And I wrote it because I was sitting at NTL, National Trial Lawyers, about 2.5 years ago. And they had a woman from the Arizona Ethics Committee on a panel, and she was talking about ABSs, the alternative business structures, the way you have a non-attorney owned law firm in Arizona. They were just rolling it out. And I was fascinated. And I thought, this is going to really change things. And after I chased the shiny object in my head for a few minutes of, I need to own a law firm because I could run the heck out of a law firm.
Right.
I thought this is really going to impact our clients because they are now going to own a law firm and they're going to be in competition with law firms that are being run by business people.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we have baby boomers retiring, and lawyers are becoming more savvy about the fact that they don't just have practices, but they do have an actual business. And so all of this was telling me that we're going to see more practices changing hands. Buying a law firm is also a great way to grow your firm. Acquisition's a fabulous strategy. So I'm like, okay, I need to start preparing people. People need to understand what it looks like to be ready to sell. They need to understand what to look for if they're going to buy. And they also need to realize law firms don't sell for those big, huge, sexy exits that you hear about. Everyone hears about the SaaS company
Right.
that, and it sells for 20 times revenue. Yeah.
Right.
You're not getting that for a law firm.
Right.
You're getting 2.5 to 4 times what's called SDE, seller's discretionary earnings. So basically your total owner comp in a year. So you're going to get 2.5 to 4 times that. That's not so sexy. So what I really want people to understand from this book is if you optimize your firm now, if you get it ready to sell now, a firm that is a really attractive acquisition target is a great firm to own because it throws off a lot of cash. It has happy employees and happy clients, and it doesn't require a lot of effort from the owner. It frees the owner up to do the things that they love. And that can be different. For my brother, it's spending his time in court. For some people, it may be starring in their commercials.
Mm-hmm.
For other people, it may be running a secondary business.
That's great. And I love that you're doing that. And because this is coming. I mean, Arizona, DC, other states are opening up where
Utah.
regular people, what's that? Utah?
Yeah. They have a sandbox.
And yeah, I've thought the same thing. Like I'm going to start my own law firm, right?
I know.
Right. It's probably going to happen here.
Hey, Tom, if you do the marketing, I'll run the back end.
Okay, let's do it.
We just need we just need a headhunter to go find us some attorneys.
Right. Well, I got a lot of attorneys. We both do. I'm sure that we got a lot that would love to jump on.
I know, but I don't. But those people want to own part of it. Do we really want to share with them? Because
that's true.
This thing's going to make bank.
That's true. We'll know how to run it. Exactly. We'll just get them out of law school. Just get them right out.
There you go. School. Yeah, baby attorney.
That's it. Okay, we'll talk about that. But okay, so you have we were talking before the show started. You got these 5 questions in your book that you ask. Can you share those?
Yeah. So there's 7 parts of your law firm that, when you're valuing your firm, any buyer's going to look at. And in each part of the law firm, I ask 5 questions. And the purpose of the questions is to understand really how integral you are as the owner to the firm. Because the more necessary you are, the lower the value of your firm. Because that buyer knows that the minute you walk out the door, the firm's going to crater without you.
Right.
So a high value firm does not need the owner turning the crank every day. So
and that is so opposite the way these guys think. The way that lawyers think is, 95 plus, probably 98%. It's all their name. It's their name on the door. It's their, name on the domain name. Everything is based on their name. And they got the ego in there, and that's a hard thing to grasp.
And what are the chances you're going to find someone to sell your law firm to that has the same name and looks just exactly like you?
Right. Yeah.
Now, I did hear a story actually about a guy that got disbarred that had a pretty common name. I mean, his name was basically John Smith, and he found a John Smith in another state and brought him in to own and run his law firm while he was disbarred.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But
That was pretty clever. That was clever.
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would want to keep hiring an attorney who had been disbarred, but that's a whole different issue. But the chances of you finding that person to sell to are really, I mean, unrealistic. So you don't want to be you don't want it to be Tom Foster Inc. So let me read you. Can I read you some of the questions for marketing?
Yes, please.
You're the marketing guy?
Yeah.
All right. Where do your clients come from? For example, do they come from referrals, social media, billboards, radio, and or pay-per-click marketing? To be considered a source, it needs to produce at least 10% of the firm's leads. Do you have 5 or more sources? 4, 3, only 1 or 2? Or my favorite, I don't know.
Right.
And there are a lot of people that give the I don't know answer. All right. Here's the second one. How complete is your written marketing plan with stated objectives and a feedback loop? Tom, how many people have you seen that have written a marketing plan and shoved it in a drawer and never looked at it again?
Right. Yes.
How
I know
useful is
exactly.
that?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to have a feedback loop. And
You got to OODA loop it. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And then, what are the objectives? Why are we doing these things? I like to call them circuit breakers. We're going to do, I'm going to make this up. We're going to do pay-per-click for 4 months. And at the end of 4 months, we should be seeing X. And if we're not seeing X result, we're going to quit.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because otherwise you're just going to keep pouring money into something and you have no idea whether it's working or not.
Right. Because obviously all of these channels work if they're done correctly, and done correctly is different for everybody. Right.
Absolutely.
It is different for everybody. And just because this other guy has had great success with billboards or whatever, that doesn't mean that you're going to have the same success, because you have a different brand and you have a different, way that you run your firm.
Absolutely. And you've got a slightly different clientele. And yeah. All right, here's the next one. How many of the following metrics do you track? Did I tell you that we're really data driven over here?
Yeah, that's good.
And can you produce? So this is the one I love. They're like, oh yeah, I track that. I'm like, okay, show it to me. And they're like, all right.
Right.
Performance for each marketing campaign. Website metrics. Lifetime client value. Client acquisition cost. And return on investment for each campaign.
That is good stuff.
Yeah.
To ask. I mean, and that is, yeah.
Yeah, you get to give yourself a 5 if you can honestly say, I have them and they are a valuable decision-making tool. And you give yourself a 1 if your question is, what are metrics? All right. Number 4, and this is one we've talked about a little bit. How aligned is the firm name, brand, and image with you personally? You get a 5 if you're not in the marketing anywhere. And you get a 1 if it's me Inc.
Right. Which most law firms are.
Most law firms are Me Inc. And before you go and say, but in my state, you can't have a firm name that is not the name of the partners. Yes, that is true. And I believe the last time I counted, it was 13 states. So 37 states, you can absolutely have a brand name. And in those 13 states where you can't have a brand name, I think almost all of them, you can file a DBA. So I'm just saying there are ways around it.
There's ways around it, yeah. And that's with all the putting their face on the billboards, on the buses, putting their face all over the website. Me. It's not about you. It's about what you do for your clients. It is about what you do for them. It's not you. And so the more that you can tie what you do for them as your brand, then you yourself, the better off you are. Would you agree with that?
I totally do. And I want to come back to that in a second because I want to do the last question, but then I totally want to come back to that. Okay, last question. On a scale of 1 to 5, how much effort does it take from you to drive the marketing? So you get a 5 if your answer is very little. By the way, we want 5s. And you give yourself a 1 if you spend all your time marketing. So let's go back to the people who are very branded me, and the ones who really concentrate on their clients. I go to more CLE than most board certified attorneys. I spend a lot of time in CLE. And so I go to a lot of different conferences and I meet a lot of different attorneys. And for a while, I was in with a group of me attorneys. And then I found a group that were the most humble, kind, client-focused, mostly men that I have ever encountered in my life. And do you know what I discovered?
What's that?
They did not have the employee turnover that you found at the me firms. And generally, they were more profitable.
And why do you say that is?
I think it's because of what they're concentrating on. I think it's because of who they are. They're not in it for themselves. They're in it because they're attorneys. They're in it to help people. They're in it to do the right thing for their clients. And it's really refreshing. And it's fun to work with those people. I love those people. Now, let me be very clear.
Yeah, go ahead.
They are making really good money. I don't want you to think that they're, slogging along making $50,000 a year. They're absolutely not. They're making great money.
No, I agree with you 100% that the more that the lawyer understands this concept for marketing and the way to run the business and not make it all about them. You're right. I mean, it's like you have better employees that will work harder for the family, right? For the cause.
Yeah.
Than for him, or her, whoever that is. Then, I agree with you 100% on that.
Yeah. And they say that Gen Z really wants a cause to work for. Everyone complains about Gen Z not working and being flaky and blah, 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 blah. But apparently the minute you give them a cause, you give them a reason, you give them something larger than themselves, they will become an incredible employee. And, that ties in very much with EOS.
Yep.
who says you got to get your vision, and then you got to get your people,
Yep.
and then you start using data. And then there are three other things you need to get together to really have that great wheel. But once you've got a clear vision, really good data, and you've got your people component nailed down, you can absolutely see everything that's going on in your firm.
So how does somebody get your book?
Well, Tom, I'm going to mail it to as soon as you give me your address. Everybody else can go to Amazon and get it.
Okay, it's on Amazon. Very good. What is the name of it again? Show us that.
It is called Exit on Top.
Exit on Top. Okay. Sell your law firm to the right person at the right time for the right price. Okay, everybody, go get this book. And I encourage all of you to have a conversation with Brooke. No doubt she can help you become more profitable, have just an easier way of running your firm. I mean, 100%.
Well, and Tom, the other thing I want to say is we want to grow and scale firms profitably. But there are a lot of different kinds of profit. Profit isn't always about dollars. Profit can also be about time. It can be about your reputation. Profit is what you want to get out of your law firm.
Yep.
And it may be the ability to pick your children up at school every day at 3. It may be the ability to not work past 2 p.m. That's time profit. It may be having a statewide reputation. I've got a firm I work with in Colorado, and they want to be incredibly well known in their field in the state. That's major profit for them. And they're willing to give up a little bit of their dollar profit to get that reputational profit for the firm. So, what is it that you really want from your firm? And let's get you that. Let's get you the profit that you truly want.
That's fantastic. Let's end on that. Brooke Lively, it has been a pleasure speaking with you and getting to know you better. You and I will be talking more for sure. And so Cathcap.com is the website to go to. Get this book and talk to Brooke and her team, and they can help you out. Brooke, thank you so much. Stick around here. But everybody, it's been Tom and Brooke on the World of Marketing. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you again soon.
Thanks, Tom.